Data Management, an Introduction for Undergraduates. My name is Jacqueline Frank, and I work at Montana State University Library in the Learning and Research Services Department. At the end of this presentation, students will understand what data management is and be able to articulate why it's important, and within the context of personal file management, understand and be able to apply data management techniques such as descriptive naming conventions and folder structure to digital files. We will begin by reviewing some personal data management techniques before moving on to universal data management guidelines. Teaching techniques such as personal digital archiving builds a foundation of knowledge that not only helps students manage their personal digital materials, but can be translated into research data management skills that will enhance students' academic and professional careers. Personal digital archiving is the study of how people organize, maintain, use, and share personal information in their daily lives. These skills closely parallel research data management skills, with the added benefit of being directly relevant to undergraduate students. One of the best things you can do is establish naming conventions for folders and files and then stick to it. Folder structure could be based on personal, professional, and academic work, for example. And file structure conventions might include organizing by date, type, subject, or forced numbering. Using descriptive file naming conventions is always beneficial. Now let's take a look at an example of some personal data management with digital files. Personal files, consider what types of files you are storing. For example, personal, work, or school files. Forced numbering can be used to determine the order when sorted on folder name. Take a look at some school files. You can see how quickly this might become unruly without some organization. Pause the video and take a moment to determine how you might start to reorganize and/or rename these files. One example of how these files might be organized is by creating folders for each class, then subfolders for different types of assignments. Finally, renaming files to include the class name, type of file, and title of the document is one example of a naming convention. Now we'll move on and discuss some universal data management guidelines. These guidelines enhance the reuse of data by other researchers, promote long-term preservation, and are broadly relevant to any type of information that you might collect. Unfortunately, there are some problems associated with the lack of data management, including that data traditionally have not been considered a scholarly product to be communicated as a standalone product, and the amount of time that must be spent translating previous researchers' notes and processes could be considerable if there were no data management practices in place. One of the first universal guidelines is to store data in non-proprietary software formats such as comma delimited text files so that any program can read them. You should also store data in non-proprietary hardware formats. Nowadays, publishing on the web is considered one of the best non-proprietary formats, considering the internet will likely be around for a long time coming. Always store the uncorrected data file. Don't make corrections, because when you make corrections post facto to an original data file, you could easily be changing something that you later discover was correct in its original form, or maybe you made a mistake while correcting another mistake. Use a scripted program for analysis. This provides a record of your analysis methods, ensures that your analysis can be re-executed, modified, or recreated by other researchers. And consider using programs such as the R statistical package, MATLAB, or SAS. One of the best things you can do is use descriptive names for your data files, which we discussed in the personal data management section. File name should indicate the content of the document, Strive for brevity, and abbreviations can help with that. Avoid blank spaces in your file names because sometimes programs have trouble uploading files with spaces in their names. And string words together and capitalizing the first letter of each word can help denote file names, as well as using underscores and hyphens can increase readability of your files. When using tables of data, include a header line that describes the variables as the first line in the table. Software applications often understand that the first line of a table is the header line, which then lists the names of the variables in that file. All cells within each column should contain only one type of information, such as text, numerical, data, etc. Analysis software cannot handle mixed types of data within a single column. Use the standardized formats for dates, which starts with the year, followed by the month, then the day. This allows you to sort easily by the date, and the formats for dates and times are promoted by the International Organization of Standards. Finally, it's important to always maintain effective metadata. Try to record why you are collecting the data, the details of your methods, names of other files associated with the study, and other important details. Following these guidelines will help your data be less prone to error, more efficiently structured for rapid analysis, and more readily interpretable for future questions. Hopefully, students will now understand what data management is and be able to articulate why it's important, as well as understand and apply data management techniques within the context of personal file management, such as descriptive naming conventions and folder structure. This video would not have been made possible without relying on the expertise of other researchers in the field. I would like to especially thank Sarah Mannheimer, for whom I've been able to personally learn from. It was my pleasure reviewing this information, and I hope you found it useful. Thank you.